Alright guys, so we recently had some drip marketing reveal two amazing looking characters that are expected to be the 5 stars in 1.1 of WutheringWaves. Jinhsi, the leader and protector of Jinzhou City, and Changli, which is Jinhsi's mentor and has the eyes to make your brain go completely numb. Nothing has been officially confirmed regarding these two characters in the kit, but we can try piecing together what we know already and possibly speculate how these two will play in 1.1. Just before we dive right into it, would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content. This video should be dropping on the day of release, so do expect a lot more videos covering the game, and if there is anything you would like me to cover, just drop a comment and I'll see what I can do. Lastly, drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Do it! Okay, I'm gonna start with Jinhsi since her drip marketing was revealed first, meaning she should be dropping first in 1.1 and Changli will follow 3 weeks after her. Now we have Jinhsi's official drip marketing here with blue/very light green colors used to portray her. I have already seen quite a few people mention that KuroGames love to use whatever colors they want in their drip marketing. So it would shut down the assumption of Jinhsi being a Glacier or Aero character just based on the colors used, which is what I thought initially. So looking past that and into more of the story, she does have a strong connection with Ju being the sentinel of the city. Sentinels being godlike beings in WutheringWaves, and the best element to portray them would be light, or a more familiar term, Spectro. Jinhsi being a Spectre character would also make perfect sense, as there are only 2 other Spectral characters in the game, being Verena and Rover. So Spectro is right aside Havoc having the least characters, so we would be able to expect some more characters dropping for those 2 elements much sooner than others. Now we have this official JP promo art that will be able to confirm Jinhsi's weapon and further support why she is likely Spectro. You have Ju in the back with his glowing bright eyes and a lot of light resonating, especially around the sword Jinhsi's kinda holding. Now the sword means she will either be a broad blade or a one-handed sword user, but looking at this Korean promo, the sword doesn't look too big, so I'd comfortably claim it to be a one-handed sword. Now that we know Jinhsi is a Spectral one-handed sword user, what would her kit likely entail? This is going to be based on what is missing from the current character selection and their kits. So every element apart from fusion has a character that is able to provide increased element damage for the element they belong to through the outro skill. With Aero, you have Alto providing 30% increased Aero damage, Sanhua provides 30% increased Glacial damage, Dungeon provides 30% Havoc damage, and Yinlin provides 20% increased Electro damage along with increased Resonance Liberation damage by 25%. Now since Jinhsi is meant to be the protector of Jinzhou City, I can see her being somewhat of a main DPS and sub DPS for her supporting capabilities, being very similar to Yinlin. Verena already has the healer and buffer position locked down, and she does an amazing job in that role. So Jinhsi wouldn't be offering anything Verena already does through her kit, pretty much leaving the role of a main DPS/sub DPS position open to claim. Also, since Jinhsi plays a big role in the beginning of the story, I do see the devs making her kit more of a longer lasting one. So I have confidence she will be the Spectre character that will provide 20% Spectre damage through her outro skill, along with something that can buff the damage of the character switching in. It could be anything from resonant skill damage to heavy attack damage or even basic attack damage. Or maybe something completely different, such as providing a shield to the character that switches in, or maybe a small heal. If we are going off precedent with Yinlin's outro skill, it is likely going to be something related to buffing the damage of the character switching in. So just based off her speculated kit, Jinhsi for me is going to be in a very similar position to Yinlin, making her a very valuable character to pick up. I am sure a lot of you would pick her up due to her elegant design, but for those of you who care more about what she can provide to your account, may also consider picking her up. The fact that she could buff any Spectre character in the future is reason enough to pick her up, and it would make her future proof. Unlike main DPS characters that will be power crept, characters that can offer support to the team will always be usable. Additionally, Jinhsi has the potential to make Mono Spectro completely busted, having Verena as the support and a strong main DPS to drop later on. Currently we have Rover, which is a good main DPS option too, but later on when a more powerful Spectral main DPS drops, having both Jinhsi dealing damage and support along with Verena providing heals and attack buffs would make this quite an interesting comp to see. After Jinhsi would be the Makima of WutheringWaves, Changli. I swear those eyes would make me fold so badly, like I would literally do anything. Unlike Jinhsi, there is no official art showing off Changli's weapon or anything that may indicate her element, so I'm going to speculate her kit based off her character design and what we are missing from the character roster. I know I mentioned that KuroGames love to use whatever colors they like in their drip marketing, but the colors on the actual character might be able to indicate something, especially when the whole arm is covered in a fiery red. Now in the drip marketing there isn't much detail on her arm, but in the recent trailer revealed on the live stream, you can see how bright her arm is, like a magma effect. Fusion would be the element to portray fire, and the fact that Changli's arm is inflamed makes me want to believe she will be a fusion gauntlet character. Looking at the current fusion characters, we have Chixia and Mortifi, which are both pistol users, and Encore is a rectifier user. So the position for a gauntlet fusion character is yet to be filled, and I believe Changli will be the one to fill it in 1.1. I also mentioned earlier that Spectra and Fusion are two elements that don't have a dedicated buffer like the rest of the elements that have a character buffing elemental damage. I have already established that Jinhsi would likely be the character to provide Spectra damage through her outro skill. So just maybe Changli will also be a character that can provide increased fusion damage for fusion characters. There is the case with Encore being a good DPS character but is lacking the necessary fusion support to take her to the next level. So it could be that Changli can offer support capabilities along with being a DPS character at the same time, very similar to Jinhsi. Now I understand that having two characters back to back with very similar kits could be a bit unrealistic, so straight up providing increased fusion damage might be a stretch. But it's obvious that a fusion character will need to drop at some point that can provide increased fusion damage, just like the rest of the elements that have a dedicated character. And the sooner the better, since it will allow all of the elements to be on an even playing field. So I would see Changli being a main DPS character that could play the role of a sub DPS for fusion characters. The other gauntlet characters we have in the game are Yangyang, Jiyan, and Yuanwu, which are considered as DPS / sub DPS characters. And the gauntlet category would be portrayed as one to have more brawler type characters dealing damage. So it would be fair to assume Changli will be dealing damage as a DPS character along with providing some support through her kit. Now the only aspect that makes me think that Changli is going to introduce something new to WutheringWaves is due to what was said in her archive. Changli excels at leveraging human nature to corner her enemies into traps. I'm telling you, it's her eyes. She has some sort of mind control going on with them. Chainsaw Man, spoiler alert for anyone, it's literally like Makima having the ability to mind control. So just maybe Changli will be able to offer on and off field techniques such as being able to stun enemies, holding them in place. Or to take it more literally, she could place physical traps on the field that can lock enemies in place, which would pair nicely with Encore since enemies wouldn't be able to avoid the nuke she deals from a charged attack then. So along with providing 20% increased fusion damage, Changli may additionally leave something on the field to trap enemies, or it could just be an instant stun. Of course it could just be something like increased resonant skill damage, but I'm definitely expecting something different from Changli. And I think I am really onto something regarding the whole stunning enemies approach. As Rover can slow enemies down, Changli may be able to stop them completely in their tracks. Either way, I really believe Changli will be a fusion gauntlet character that can deal damage and support the team through techniques we haven't yet seen. This would, in my opinion, make her a very valuable character too, just like Jinhsi. As Jinhsi will play a big role for Spectro in the future, Changli could provide the same for fusion and maybe for all characters overall. Given how Changli is as a character, being the mentor to Jinhsi the Magistrate, I would expect to see something very unique from her, as she likely has a lot of power under her sleeve, or to be specific, in her arm. And that's all I have on both Changli and Jinhsi. I'm hoping when the kits are confirmed later on, I'm not too far off on what they will be able to do. I think I have pretty much given it away that I am looking forward to Changli the most between the two, but I do expect both characters to be amazing, given their position in the story and just how stunning they look. If you enjoyed the video, would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to the channel for more WutheringWaves content and drop a like. Also, if you have any thoughts on what Changli and Jinhsi's kits could possibly be like, definitely comment down below, as it would be interesting to discuss. And yeah, hope to catch you guys later.